All right, guys, I can imagine there's probably a number of us who spend a great deal of emotional energy making a fuss over things of very little value, right? I mean, surely you've experienced this. You might be going through it right now. And you kind of know that you're doing it, but you can't stop yourself. And better yet, if you think no one's watching, you kind of feel like you're getting away with it a little bit. It allows us to complain and think that we're actively doing something when it's not helping at all. But it tires us out. It gets us absorbed in something that really should have no consequence, but it's occupying space up here. We oftentimes talk about people who live rent-free in our heads, and it's usually over things that shouldn't matter a whole lot. And I've done this time and again. It's easy. I think everybody does it. It's really hard to get around, but you have to really pay attention and wisely discern what truly has value, what doesn't. And if you make enough mistakes and you burn enough bridges, you'll start to discover after a while that you need to pull back somewhere and think a little bit more and decide where you're going to invest this mental and emotional energy instead of letting it just be a drain on you. Because oftentimes, not only will these things be a drain on us, they'll be a drain on the people around us, right? And it's easy to fly into a rage. Let's say you find out that the people at work are talking about you. Maybe people that you kind of considered work friends, people that you trusted, maybe your boss, people you did favors for. Maybe you got overcharged a little bit at a restaurant, right? I know when I get those Florida Department of Transportation notices or violations, I don't like it, even though it's kind of a small thing. I mean, we have one of those transponders on our car, but every once in a while, one of those things up there on the parkway doesn't pick it up. And so I got to pay this violation. And yes, I have called and squabbled about it before. I have been that guy to make a fuss over the smallest of things. It could be someone's not listening to you in a conversation, or maybe they're not giving you enough space. And you might say to yourself, well, Greg, all these things you're talking about could be a big deal. Yeah, it could be. But I'm talking about when we know that they're just small things, relatively speaking, in the grand scheme of things. I'll tell you why I'm talking about this. Beethoven, you know who I'm talking about, the classical composer, the 19th century, maybe 18th century classical composer. Everybody knows his stuff, right? Moonlight Sonata, Fur Elise, and things like that. Well, he wrote a piece called, I think it's called Rondo Capriccio or something like that, in G minor. I hope I've got that right. I could be really wrong about that. I think that's what it's called, though. And Beethoven died in 1827, but in 1828, somebody renamed it Rage Over a Lost Penny. Now, Beethoven never had this in mind, but somehow or another, this piece got titled Rage Over a Lost Penny. Now, I like that title because for several reasons. One, it's easy to remember that. Two, the music really does kind of take on the essence of someone dropping a penny, let's say a poor person, very, very poor person, because a penny would be a big deal, right? right? Okay, they have to be, but maybe not. But they're in their house, they drop a penny. Let's say you live, this is what I picture. Someone who lives in one of those old houses that my father said he used to grow up in San Antonio, Texas, where they had wood floors and you could actually see through the floors in their house to the dirt beneath, okay? So you get these people, you got this person, this old lady who's got a little purse and she's dropped a penny out of that and it's fallen to the floor. She's looking for it, can't find it. And it just drives her nuts. Now, really, honestly, that could be any one of us, and we don't have to be poor. All we have to do is assign value to something that, relatively speaking, shouldn't matter, right? There's lots and lots of pennies. There's lots of other things out there. There's lots of other things out there that we could be investing our energy in, but she starts sweeping and she's just scurrying all over the place and she's getting herself worked up. There's sweat on her brow, and we can picture this, right? We can picture this, and I do, and I have been like this many, many times over things, and the music sounds like this because the music is very bubbly at first, very nice to listen to. You know, if you ever listen, I'm gonna leave a link down below for you to be able to listen to Rage Over Lost Penny by Beethoven. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. Anyway, so this song sounds very happy, bubbly, and then it starts to crescendo. It starts to get a little frantic. The energy builds, and you can tell something's not right. I'm getting concerned about finding this thing. Now I'm kind of upset. Why is this happening to me? And this is kind of the feeling I get from the song. So I think whoever renamed it Rage Over Lost Penny nailed it. Even though that's not what Beethoven had in mind. I don't even know if he'd be upset about that or not. So what made me think of this song, or this piece, it's not really a song, it's a piece, is last time I was out here making a video, I pulled this camera out that I've got right here. And I took out the microphone that I'm using right here, right? This microphone. This microphone has a magnet on it. It's underneath my shirt. That's how it's staying on my shirt. It's very common. A lot of people use them. Well, when I opened up the little case that has the microphone and all the little things that go with it, the magnet that's underneath my shirt, the magnet fell out of the case, and we're talking, it's about dime size. It's dime size. I don't know why they put it in the case the way they do, because it falls out really easy. And so, I mean, it's like a little wafer. It's like a little dime, about the size of a dime. And if it falls, now I was in my car, by the way. Okay, I was in my car. I was in the parking lot. And I knew must have fell down between the seats. And because it's so thin, it could go underneath something or between something, and I might not ever get it out. And I looked, and I was getting so furious about this. I was saying to myself, why do they put this in this case like this if it's going to be just easily fall out? And the truth is, I could probably get another one really cheap. But then what goes through my mind is, oh great, that one's going to get lost too. And then the next one's going to get lost. And you know what? The magnet's not the only option I have. I have other options for the microphone, and chances are I probably don't even need it under these conditions. But at that moment, I assigned so much value to it, and I let myself be mad. But then I stopped, and I thought about this piece. I don't know why it came to my mind. I guess maybe because it's dime size, about the size of a coin, or a small coin, right, like a penny, and it's kind of humorous. Which is why I think that's the reason why somebody renamed Beethoven's piece or Rage Over Lost Penny, because it was kind of humorous. I thought, I could allow this moment to be just funny and forget looking for it. Because another thing I've learned in life is when you think you've lost something, stop looking for it. It'll show back up quicker. Trust me on this. So I stopped looking for it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I looked for it several times at great lengths, but after that I said, you know what, forget it. It's either lost forever or it'll show back up. But so many of us do this with so many other things in life, with the people around us, with the things they say, with the, you know, maybe it's arriving at a party a little bit later than we wanted to. Maybe, like I said before, maybe someone has said something. Maybe we've been overcharged. Maybe just a little bit. I'm not talking about a great value, just a little bit. And maybe, I don't know. I guess there's a myriad of examples, and I'm probably not doing a very good job of coming up with examples, but I'm sure you got something in your own mind. Leave an example of what I'm talking about down below. Maybe it's personally happened to you. And it's better to just let those things go and go, you know what, forget it. It doesn't matter. It's of little consequence. If it's meant for me, it'll pop back up. That's if it's lost. If it's something that bothers you, it's not necessarily lost, then if you just let it go for a little bit, maybe the effect of it will wear off and won't bother you as much, right? And so this is what I want to convey to you here. Let the pennies go. When things aren't quite right and they get under your skin, maybe somebody or something has bothered you, ask yourself, how much value is there to this? Because you're the one who assigns the value. Okay? I'm not saying there aren't things out there that are intrinsically valuable, but I need you to give it some serious thought whenever these things crop up. Just go, you know what? It's just a penny. It's just a penny. I can let it go. And I can give my energy to something else. And let me tell you something. If I had obsessed over that little magnetic piece, I never would have come out here and made a video that day. And I feel like that video turned out pretty well. And you might be wondering, did that little magnet ever show back up? Yeah, it did. You know where it was? Well, a couple days later, I was getting in the car and I started the car. I started to put my seatbelt on. I reached over with my right arm, pulled it down, and I felt something right behind the buckle. And there it was. And here I was looking for it underneath the seat. I was looking for it in the cracks. I was more or less kind of turning the car upside down, you know. And here it was behind the seat buckle all the time. But I mean, I'm kind of glad I just stopped looking for it. I mean, I learned my lesson a long time ago. But oftentimes we'll find out that's what happens, you know. If something's bothering you and it doesn't really have a whole lot of value, if you let it go, yeah, it'll settle down. The dust will settle, and you'll be glad you didn't lose your cool. You'll be glad that you didn't run your mouth more than you should have. But anyway, that's my point for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave your little story down below, or don't. Maybe you don't want people to know. But anyway, I'm going to continue to enjoy my little walk out here. Thanks for joining me, guys. I will catch you in the next one. In the meantime, be wise.